from that shit. Yeah, so it's like
Right.
you get so close to it, it's like you lose perspective. And the hardest thing to do is step back and gain that perspective. And yeah, and take in all the new information. So with that said, we live everywhere. Sweet. All right. What's up, everyone? Welcome to You Control You podcast. You know how we started off with what we're grateful for. Man, I'm grateful for a beautiful life. Grateful for being in a situation, being in situations that allow me to prosper. So I feel extremely grateful for that. And of course, family, as always. With me today, we got Shawn Calahan, the author of 365 Straight Days of Happiness. What are you most grateful for, sir?
I'm grateful to be able to upgrade myself,
Ooh,
even as a grown man,
ooh,
uh, to do it by myself because I wasn't taught how to be happy. I wasn't taught how to navigate through life
mm,
and to navigate through the dating scene to actually
yeah,
be successful.
yeah,
Uh, and I don't want to. I don't want that to be like a shot at the people that's in my circle because I had my mother and my father in my life, but to learn specifically how to be happy with somebody, I wasn't really taught that. I had to figure that out on my own, and it was hard. And it took like 30 something years. I didn't get this goal of 365 until 2018. So I was already a grown man, and it's hard to be grown and learn something new, as opposed to being young and learning something new. So I'm grateful to be able to change my whole life and in the same life look at life in a whole better way, in a happy way, in a positive way,
mm,
and go in a better direction with least amount of mistakes, uh, correcting mistakes, long lasting mistakes, to be able to do that and to see the light at the end of that tunnel.
man. Seems like a dope thing to be grateful for. That's what's up. So you touch on some things in there, so we'll just get right into it then. One of the things that you hear throughout life is it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks. And it's basically what you were saying. It's easier to learn things when you're younger. And
Right.
one of the things that I was that I talk with my students and my fighters is you can only learn through pain. That's basically the best way to learn is you suffer some pain and you learn from it. You suffer a loss, you learn from it. It's these emotional highs that you can really learn from. So what was the catalyst for you to help you learn this new way of thinking as an adult?
Everything in my life was going wrong. Everything from every direction, from the household that was stressful, my work was stressful, the situation with my baby mother was stressful, in and out of court. And it was like no matter where I go, it was just negativity. I come home with my wife. We had a typical relationship, ups and downs. That was stressful. I go to work, and every day they want to write somebody up and threaten to fire them, and everything in between. So that was stressful. And then when it comes to my daughter, that was stressful. And it got to that point where I remember I was just sitting on the couch and I'm just in my own thoughts, and I'm just in like a dark place, and I'm at a fork of the road, and it's like I can either go right or left, and left is just giving in to my weaknesses, giving in to my emotions, and letting everybody feel how they making me feel because I'm stressed the hell out. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to get depressed. I'm in a negative space, and I got this beast inside of me that's like let's get them. So it's like you know let my lady know how I feel. Let them know how I feel at work. And that was a dangerous path of pretty much just dispersing the negative energy that y'all giving me right back to y'all. And then there was that right side to where uh be strong and handle everything, correct all of your mistakes and go down a positive path. And that's the path that I took. It's like, okay, all right, I'm not gonna be depressed. I'm not gonna let all the negatives in life just destroy me mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I need to go down a better path because I'm still young. And if I give in to the negatives in life, where am I going to be 10, 20 years from now just being stressed out? So I decided to go that right path. And my wife, that was the first person that I told, like this is where I'm going. And I'm correcting every mistake that I've made. And especially when you have a kid with someone that you can't work things out with, it's not a shot at baby mamas or baby daddies, or it's definitely not a shot at mine. But when you, I mean, if you can't work things out as a couple, you definitely can't work things out separated. So that's why baby mamas and baby daddies have that negative tag to them. It's gonna always be negative. And um, now I'm looking at 18 years of pain that I have to fix that, and I can't get rid of that until my daughter 18. And then I got my job and then every other aspect in life. And I just started to look at all of my mistakes and say, okay, what can I fix right now? What can I fix in the midterm and then the long term? And once I started to chop that down and eliminating negatives within myself, going down that right path just showed me like the further down I go, the less mistakes that I have to correct. And then the main goal is just eliminating all of my negatives and only have to live with my positives,
Mm.
which was a harder path for me, but in the long run, it was the most beneficial.
How long, you said it really started to click for you in 2018. How
Yep.
long did it take you to start getting on the other side of it? Because it's never a done journey, right?
Never.
You're never done traveling down that path. But when did you start to recognize that, oh, this way of thinking is working. This is good for me.
It really started to work in like 2019.
Mm.
Um, Once I made that decision, so you gotta understand, like now my decisions have to be different. Every decision that I made before, I have to make different decisions. And so in my household with my wife, after I told her that, everything started to be different. How I responded to her, how I reacted to her, how I handled her, everything would start to be different. And now that she recognized everything is different, it's like, well, you either gotta you gotta move along or get left behind. And with her, she moved along with me because she ride with me. You know what I'm saying? So that started to change. So now we start to get well above that average relationship that we all are accustomed to. We start to get above that, and we started to gain some traction there. With with my job, it was like in 2019, I had to realize that where I work is just a stressful place. Management is stressful. The workers are stressful. They're gonna come at me stressful because that's just how they are. So I had to learn how to every all the negativity that they put to me, I had to disperse that back to them and let them know, like, I'm gonna stress y'all out and I'm gonna laugh in your face, which is kind of dangerous when you're doing it to your supervisor or manager. But I did it, and I let them know aggressively all the time, like I don't care about your feelings, and I tell them in their face. Now I don't recommend you take that route. I was a little bit more aggressive, but but I was there for some years, you know what I'm saying? And I had a lot on them as well, so they couldn't just fire me. So when I came back at them like that, uh, they stopped messing with me a whole lot more. It was almost like the streets. Once I told them like y'all done, like y'all not about to be bullying me no more, then that bully just sort of stepped back. So once I became a problem for them and they wasn't a problem for me, work became a lot less stressful. And every other aspect in life, it just started to line up with me just making different decisions, you know what I'm saying, to go on a positive path.
So what it sounds like to me is that you just got comfortable being in your own skin and loving yourself.
You got to. You got to love yourself first. If you don't love who you are, you don't love that person that you're looking in the mirror, then I would say the first step is to figure out why don't you love yourself? What is it about your life that you don't love? Because as long as you alive and you breathe, you could change everything in your life. You can reinvent yourself today. So anything that you don't like, you can flip it. You just got to know how to flip it.
Well, isn't that the fun process though? Learning the how.
I mean,
I meant,
not it's not fun when you don't have help. Imagine. So you got a gym. You're doing Muay Thai. Imagine if you had to learn how to do Muay Thai yourself. How long would it take without a coach? You know what I'm saying?
it
Would that be fun?
to me, but see, for me, it would be. It would be because so we all need help, right? We
Right.
all need some kind of help, and we can get it from different places. What I would say though is the fun part of the journey is knowing that no matter what, you have to walk it by yourself. Doesn't matter. Even if someone tells you, right, someone could give you all the right answers.
Right.
You still got to go walk that. You still got to go do it for yourself and figure that out. And so to me, there's fun in that. I know. I also understand. I've been at the spot where it's not fun, where it's
Right.
like I don't know how I'm gonna do this. There's not, but nobody's here telling me how to do this, and I just learned to have fun with that aspect of it because I'm gonna fall down a lot like a baby, and I'm gonna learn how to walk
Of
this.
course.
And so,
I guess I if you look at it from a relationship perspective, and you have this idea to be 100% positive person, but you're with somebody that's negative half the time, and to try to figure out, okay, how do I get her on this same page as me? Like, and you don't have nobody there to really coach you through that. You know
mhm.
what I'm saying? That is not fun.
Do you here? I got a
That's
question.
not fun at
I
all.
got a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think you got your girl to be positive more often?
Yeah.
How?
I had to do it for myself first. So
Mm.
once she saw the change within myself and how I handle her became different. And was
Go ahead,
and I
finish
was
it.
gonna say, so then I didn't feed into the argument. So I wasn't arguing back and forth with her. So as she got loud, I'm like, look, I'm not about to get loud with you. So everything that I did to battle the negativity was different. And after a while, it's like, okay, he ain't about to battle me, and he dead serious about what he need and the direction that he going. So any woman gonna think about that, like, how important is this man to my life?
Mhm.
How valuable is he? How valuable is what we have? And she gonna make that decision because she gonna know, like, eventually she gotta go with it, or she gonna have to go a separate way because I'm not with the current state, you know what I'm saying, that we in.
So it doesn't sound like you made her change. It sounds like you just let her.
You got to. You can't make nobody do nothing.
Ah,
You can motivate them. And I how I'm describing it, it may sound hard, but like my standards is just how our relationship wasn't bad. It's just that if I have a goal to never argue, and we go through 100 debates, and we go through 99 of them the way that we supposed to, and then it's that one time where we argue, that's a no. It's unacceptable. I can't take no losses. This is my goal. We gotta be there. You know what I'm saying?
so when
So
you say argument, just to be clear, are you talking about a disagreement or are you talking about when things get out of control?
we can disagree. Uh, it don't necessarily have to be out of control, but an argument is when two people are just arguing, and you get to a point where you're arguing just to be arguing. Then you start to bring up old things, and you say things to hurt each other, and you go far from the initial problem.
Mhm.
So once you go past the initial problem, I don't care you came home late, like, and we starting to argue. We're not even arguing about you coming home late. We arguing about everything that you did after you left the club. Then you arguing with me because I came home late last week, and I always come home late with the homies. So we're arguing because the initial issue is you came home late. So we need to figure that out and resolve it. We don't resolve issues in them real times. If you're not resolving it in real time, you're most likely going to argue about it because both people just want to be heard, understood, and once you get to that point where your emotions are just taking over the discussion, it goes past the debate, and now you argue. And once you're done arguing, you ain't even fixed the problem. Now you gotta have makeup sex to feel better, and you still ain't resolved it. You're just gonna say I'm sorry, and it's like it's still there. The pain that so if we just talk about like me and another woman, the pain that she caused me is still there. She came home late. Now, depending on the type of man I am, I'm like, okay, I got one for her. She got one coming. You know what I'm saying? So then when I go out, I'm be waiting to go out, and then I might end up making the same mistake, not caring about how she feel. And so in the long run, when you're trying to be with somebody 5, 10, 20 years, all of those small mistakes, it becomes bigger. And it affects you in a very bad way in the long term.
So you're basically saying you're describing stoicism, you're describing leadership, you're describing the elements of making a man, but in this society, more or less an old school man, like how they would call us call that a traditional man, an old school man way of thinking, where it's like, look, you can you can agree to disagree with me, but what we're not going to do is get disrespectful. What we're not going to do is take a left turn. We're going to keep it right on topic. And if we're not able to do that, then we need to come back to the table and talk again. And then it sounds like you're also talking about not going tit for tat.
Never.
You did this, so I'm gonna do this, and you did this, so I'm gonna do this, and that is an adult way to look at how to solve problems, sir.
So I'm also not the only am I'm trying to create kings, I'm trying to create queens as well. Uh so solving these issues in real time. If that woman comes home late and it pisses me off, what I need to let her what I need to make her understand is that it's not like you're wrong. So just because you do something that don't belong in your partnership, it doesn't mean that you're wrong.
Mm.
So even if you have to apologize for it, you're not admitting that you're wrong. It just don't belong in your partnership. You know what I'm saying? So if I just don't want you to come home at 2 o'clock in the morning, I want you to come home at 1 o'clock. That's just what I want. It doesn't mean that you coming home at 2 is just such a bad thing, but we all are different. So it's a respect thing. So she should know, okay, I gotta be home at 1 o'clock. It's not the biggest deal. You can't destroy your relationship over an hour. This is the person that you pick. You gotta respect them. Just the same way he need to respect her. So they gotta come to that middle ground where all right, this is just what needs to be done to have a great partnership. It's not about a right or wrong or I want to be out the three. I ain't doing nothing wrong. Your personal feelings does not matter when there's two people in that partnership.
So wouldn't a woman say, if my personal feelings don't matter, why do your personal feelings matter? Why can't I just stay out till 2?
Because you're not single. Our personal feelings don't matter. It's about what's what's beneficial to what we're building. We're building a building. And whenever you mess up and you want to do things that you want to do, you're adding something to that foundation that's essentially going to crack the foundation in the long term. So you want to build a strong foundation of trust, respect, and I got you, you got me. I'm not single no more. I'm not gonna do what I want to do no more. I used to stay up to 3 o'clock in the morning. I got a lady. I need to be at home at 1. That's just what she wants, so that she can give me what she needs. I'm sorry, so she can give me what I need. I have to give her what she needs. I have to respect her, and it has to be vice versa.
So you're saying compromise.
It's gonna, yeah, it's a lot of compromise, a lot of sacrifice. But at the end of the day, you have to look at it like an investment. Whenever you get with somebody, you're investing your time, which is your most valuable thing. And I say it's your most valuable thing because time is the only thing that you can't get back. You can't you spend 20. Can you imagine spending 5 years with the wrong person? At 30 years old, now you 35. Your whole body different. And you want to spend 5 years with the wrong person. You gave them the most valuable thing that you have. It's not your body. It's not your money. It ain't your effort. Your time. Your time. So if you're gonna invest the number one thing that you have with somebody, you gotta go all in every day. You gotta push them chips in every day.
Mm. So, mm. So when you say push your chips in every day, you're basically saying you got to bring everything you got to the table to be there for your partner, to be the best partner you can be for your partner.
Yep,
Mm.
every day, and it's all internal. It's not. It has nothing to do with outside things like money, cars, and property. Uh, it's all in how you treat somebody.
Mm.
You can have the most money in the world. Who got divorced? Bill Gates. If money was the main priority and you got $1 billion, you should never get divorced. You should be able to get whoever you want and keep them for the rest of your life. How can you get divorced and you making over 7 figures? So obviously, how you are and how you treat somebody is gonna always be more valuable than what you can do for them in the long run.
So basically, everything you just summed up sounds like your January chapter of your book. January goal, relationship slash partnership goals. Communicate properly, no arguing, show love daily, positive attitudes only, no days off.
None.
No days off. So, would you, reading that, one would surmise that you believe that a relationship is a job
I
that
look
they should show up for.
every day.
Ooh.
Everything is a job. Raising your kids is a job.
Mm, 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 mm.
It ain't just you got to clock in every day to
Mm.
handle your business no matter what it is.
Yes. I have a thing that I say all the time about everything that someone does. Find something that you love because you won't like it every day. You love your spouse every day, but you don't like them every day. There's days that they upset you, they get on your nerves, and they're pushing your buttons to the limit, but you love them, so you still show up for them and you give them the best version of you that you can. That is,
So then with me, I will have some questions to that.
ooh, please, let's go.
So what is she doing and why is she doing it? What is she doing to make a man not like her that day?
Oh, that it'd be no different than if hmm,
Well, not to say like for you to answer that question because I know we generalizing it, but that's how my mind think.
yeah.
Okay, if my woman do something to me that will make me not like her, that is not cool because to like somebody and to care about somebody, those are the two main things that you need in a long-term partnership. If you don't like somebody, you're not going to be happy with them 20 years from now.
But that's, I would question then, do you like your kids every day or do your kids get on your nerves?
Oh, yeah, every
Okay.
day.
So, okay.
No,
But you
I
love,
like no, I
but,
like them every day.
but
Every
you
day.
like them or you love them every day because you
Both.
cannot like their actions. The character that you might be seeing that at that moment, right?
Hmm.
You don't like that character. You don't like that version of them that they're showing you. So if your kids, um, like I'll go with mine because my daughter isn't in school anymore. She's already graduated. So there was a moment where she would do the homework and just forget to turn it in. And I watched her A go down to a C. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Okay.
And she was like, I forgot to turn my assignments in. I do them, but and it's like I don't like that version of her right then because she's not showing her best version of herself. I love I love her overall,
Okay.
but I don't like that version of her coming up that's happening right now. So now we're gonna talk
Hmm.
because that's not a version you want to send out to the world.
No.
So, and that goes on and on. Like you can love someone, but their actions that they do in that moment,
Hmm.
you may not like their actions, which then you may not like that person right that second because of who they are right that second. Because who they are right that second isn't who they are overall. That's like a woman pregnant or a woman on her period or a woman hangry. What's the most famous thing? Never let a woman be hungry,
Mm-hmm.
because if she's hangry, you're gonna deal with a monster, and she
Okay.
doesn't even mean it. Well, no, you don't like that version of her right then.
Okay.
So but you still love her. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. So I got two things to say to that. All right. So if it was me, everybody that's within my castle is a reflection of me. So if my daughter is doing something that's not right, that's a reflection on me. So I got to look at me first, because there's no way that she should walk out my house and not turn her homework in, or not think that it's important to remember that. So that's a reflection on me and how I'm parenting her. So she's not 100% responsible. I am responsible for everybody that's in my castle. So it starts there. Second of all, it's how you perceive life. Things are gonna happen. So she forgot her homework. It's not for me to say I don't like her today because she didn't turn in her homework, even though she did it. She even did it. She just didn't turn it in. So how you take life is gonna determine how you look at life. Okay, I'm gonna give you another one. Let me see your hand. Let me see your hand. No, let me see your hand. You a fighter, right? Do that hurt?
Mm-mm.
It do. Did you feel it?
No, it doesn't hurt.
Your body felt that pain, but it don't really hurt you. In your mind, you saying that don't hurt. I can hit you, I can keep hitting you. I can hit you harder and harder. And you can still say it don't hurt, but your body feel that pain. Somebody else can say, yeah, that hurts. So how you're perceiving negatives that's happening is gonna determine like how your outlook and how you're gonna handle it. She did not turn her homework in. It is not the worst thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to manage that part and just understand that she's gonna make mistakes. Everybody is.
Okay,
So why do we have to get to a point where you don't like that version of her?
that okay. I hear what you're saying. The If I took responsibility for everybody in my house, that means if my child went out and killed someone, I did something wrong.
It's not that
And
you.
that no no no
I
no
wouldn't say that you did something wrong.
that if but the way you're wording that is it's a it's a direct reflection of me. And
Not 100% though.
it's 0%.
Not. No,
After
I wouldn't
four,
say. I
after
wouldn't
four,
say zero.
here's the thing.
Okay, go
They've done
ahead.
enough psychology now. From 0 to 4
Mm-hmm.
is where you build your biggest base with your kids. That doesn't mean that you don't have impact on them the rest of their life, but
Mm-hmm.
their core programming is set. You cannot alter their core programming. So
Okay.
when you're basically who you are. Now, you build filters, you build other
Now,
characteristics around that.
now, can I stop you right there? I
Mhm.
I, I don't want to lose you, but so you saying you study psychology and you learned that through my experiences, that is not 100% accurate, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because when I had my daughter, me and my baby mother split up. I did not have my daughter the first 4 years of her life. When I won my daughter in court, I did not get her until she was about 5 years
Mhm.
old. I did not completely change the person that she was until she was 6. So 1 through 4,
She's not completely changed. What you've done is you've added new filters in her brain and new characteristics for her to live off of. But whatever core programming that was there, it's still there. It's still prevalent and it will show at some point. So, what I mean by core programming, if she was afraid, so you may not see the fact that has she's afraid to trust men outside of you until she's older because you weren't there from 0 to 4, which I'm not saying is on you, but it will show at some point because the characteristics of the psychology is there. If you if you were beaten from 0 to 4 or
mm-hmm,
treated like dog crap, you can have a great life the rest of your life, but something internal is there. Like we still have that's why it's so important to understand like your ancestors to a certain extent because the DNA travels with us. It travels in our genes still, and
okay,
it goes with us, but it's late. It's dormant, and so a lot of those things, a lot of those things still take effect. So from 0 to 4, 0 to 5, the core base is built already in your kids. That's why they say they need so much love. They need to be taught so much, and that's why they learn so fast. And then the next age The next gap is important, and then the next gap, because we're always learning and always getting better,
Hmm.
but it's definitely going to have an impact. So when, if at some point you have to let go, right? The training wheels are off, and your kids have to go, and what you did with them is a direct reflection. Did I still like my daughter?
Hmm.
Yes. I didn't like that characteristic because I knew in 10 years, if she still did that, that's gonna work against her.
So
So
let
we had talks about that and then
okay,
worked through it, and whatnot. Like, hey, this is why you can't do this. This is why this is unacceptable. You
okay.
did the work, turn in the work, and this is just the last level of being responsible. I don't like that characteristic. We're gonna remove that. We're gonna move that somewhere else.
So I got a question. I just want to get a deeper understanding. So are you saying once you turn 4 that your personality is gonna essentially be set?
You are who you are, player.
Okay.
Like it goes the Jay-Z
Okay.
line. The
So
Jay-Z line within reason. There's going to be certain, yes, you could change who you are at who I am at 45 is different from 35, from different from 25, different from 15, different from 5, right?
okay.
You grow. But there's a base level there. You're that you're always going to have to deal with. That's why when you see someone who dealt with abuse
Hmm.
early on,
Okay.
like they're always going to have a reaction to things. It's like certain things is like just embedded in you at that age now.
So you do you understand why that is though? So the
Because that's where your brain learns the most. Your brain is never faster than what it is from 0 to 5. That's the
okay,
fastest it works.
I can give you that. I'm gonna throw something else in there. If you have an issue, it doesn't matter what it is. If you have an internal issue and you do not resolve it, you're gonna always have that issue.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't really I don't deal with things in that way. If I see that my daughter have an issue, I'm going to actually resolve that issue. We're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm going to work with her
Yep.
to actually resolve that issue.
Hmm.
So my experience in that, so it's not like, so when I said when I got her, it's not like I just wasn't in her life,
Hmm.
but I was here in Madison and my baby mother was in
Yeah.
Chicago, so it was a lot of distance. So when I did get her, I saw a lot of negative ways
Yep.
in her
Yep.
that I had to steer her the right way.
Yep.
But the only way that I can steer her the right way is if I understand what the negative is,
Hmm.
how she got it,
Hmm.
where she got it from, because
Hmm.
it could have been from me, could have been from her mother through blood, it could have been through her experiences, hurt and
Hmm.
pain. Once I understand what the problem is, I can resolve any issue with anybody. And I actually did that with her. So
Do,
she did actually take a turn, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, she got
Because
better.
only because I did it the right way. If I didn't do it the right way, she would have continued on that same path.
Yeah. The thing is, you you probably were able to heal some things and basically make a new pathway, but you didn't resolve the original pathway. You created a new pathway and a new way of thinking. But at the highest emotions,
Hmm.
at the highest reaction base, back when there's a fight or flight situation,
Hmm.
the temptation to go back to the core programming is going to be extremely high. The goal
Okay.
is you spend the rest of your life as a father now building and building and building and building and building and building and
Hmm.
building so that she doesn't just turn and go back to those. What I'm saying is that you didn't you're creating new paths for her. But that
Okay.
path never got resolved because you can't go back in time and resolve that.
I'm gonna tell you how I resolved that path. No, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna because we're speaking on. I wish my daughter would say it right now. She'll tell you. So the thing is, I can create this path for her. I can take her down this path,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't live her life forward. So I also got to give her the tools that she needs to repair
Yes.
herself,
Yep.
so that that lane that she was in before, that is no longer a lane. You know what I'm saying? That is closed down. She's only going down this path and it's her own decision. She still got to make that own decision. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that my teachings is just 100%. You still got to believe in it yourself, and she believes in it.
So, based on everything you're saying, then, mm, why is it so important for people to work on themselves to find happiness if some of those people come from they've spent if they're 35 years old,
Mm-hmm.
let's say 30 of the years were happy. 30 of the years they had someone teaching them exactly that,
Okay.
teaching them that. Let's take an adopted child that got adopted at 5 and they
Okay.
were showed nothing but love, greatness from their parents. Everything is they were there for them. They taught them the right things. They but at 35, for some reason, they just can't love themselves, even though they know they came from a loving household.
Okay.
Why is that?
That's what I would ask.
And
I can't just generalize the answer because everybody experiences is different.
yes, but that's
There's
what
a reason for everything.
there's a reason why the psychologists they've done all these studies because no matter what, your first 5 years are so impactful. So even though you're giving her those tools, you're doing everything right, right? You're
Of
giving
course.
her all the right tools. What I'm saying that is that even giving someone the right tools,
Hmm.
you can't eliminate all trauma. There's always trauma. And people trauma doesn't have to be the worst thing. It doesn't have to be you beating a child. The trauma could just be simple as their friends made fun of them.
So who
They got made fun of.
who's to say at you said 30, right? You said
Hmm.
30 or 35?
Yeah,
Who's to say at 30 when that person flipped the script that it's because of something that happened when they was 5?
because it always boils down to they some at some point in their life something made an impactful pain or made an impactful moment in their life. And it's usually something they learned from 0 to 5 or something they seen or something they experienced that they don't even most of the time remember themselves
How many
or it
people you
happens
know?
later.
How many people you know that have done that? I don't know
Don't What do you
anybody.
mean don't
So you're saying that 30 that someone can flip the script and go back to the pain that they had to experience
it's
when
not
they
that they
was
went
4 or
backwards, they're
5.
still fighting against it. Look at the three of us. How many times were you told you were how many times did someone tell you they love you as a kid?
No, I don't know. I mean, but
Was it a lot?
I would suggest so. I mean, I would think
Well, for
so.
me and Corey, it wasn't.
Okay.
It wasn't like we've talked about this before on the podcast where especially men, how many times has a man told you that they loved
Oh, I can't count. But I think I see where you're going.
you? Yeah,
Okay,
but see,
so
so that's not necessarily them being bad, like quote unquote bad, but how many times do you tell your kids you love them?
all the time.
Yeah, you see, it's different. We do something
Okay.
different than we got because we missed out on it. So it's not even that we noticed that trauma. We don't even it's and plus we don't until you got older. How old are you? How old were you at in 2018?
Damn, now I gotta do math. I was on
I was
42.
a young man.
Well, I was 30 something, 35.
Okay, the they've tracked the brain down that our brains fully aren't fully grown. Like all the lights aren't on until we hit 25 to 27.
That's what they say.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
So then from where we become
Hmm.
completely aware, from 27 to 35, there's a big growth there where people start to it's also usually the highest depression rate because people are now aware and they're like, wait a minute, what? And then somewhere in your 40s, you start to give you start to make a breakthrough like I don't care. And then those 50s and 75, you really don't care. So when you see older people, they're like, I don't care. It's whatever. Because they've something clicked in their brain and they no longer care about what other people think about as you get older.
Okay.
So it's
You know what? I would say that when you are an adult, you are in control of your own life. You don't get to say, well, what happened to me as a teenager or as a kid is going to dictate how I'm going to
Mhm.
be right now. You're an adult. I mean, probably 100% of us wasn't raised 100% right.
Exactly.
I mean,
Because what's right?
how do you raise kids? Everybody is different.
Exactly.
I missed out on a whole lot of stuff.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So my situation does not dictate the man that I am today. So you don't get to give yourself that excuse because you're 30 years old and now you want to live your life
Mm-hmm.
in a negative way. How you're taking life in has it may have a lot to do with mental, emotional, or spiritual weaknesses that you need to strengthen within
Mm-hmm.
yourself because you don't never go backwards. Whenever somebody go backwards, it got to be something messed up that's in your head. Nobody wants to go backwards. I don't care if you working 40 hours a week, you're not gonna pick a job to work 20. If you
But
making
there's a lot
fifty
of people that
thousand
will.
50,000 a year, you're not going backwards.
There's a lot of people that do want to go backwards. That's the issue. Depression is caused because people are living backwards. They're
Right.
so stuck on the pain and anxieties from focusing on the future.
Hmm.
Very rarely do people live in the moment and understand what's going on in the moment. And that's the one of the hardest things for people to learn. And when I said we things happen to us in the past, it's not to focus on it. It's strictly to take accountability. I do have a question for you. When do you believe people are adults?
And what way? I guess legally you an adult with 18.
Yeah, but if you remove society's rules, when are we adults?
It depends on where you are mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I don't think there's a number to say that you're an adult or that you are grown. You're a grown woman or a grown man that you have reached that status of a king amongst kings or a queen amongst queens.
It's
I don't think there's
no,
a number.
I concur with you. That's why I was curious about that. It's like it it's all about where you're at in the stage of your life.
When did you get there? At what age?
What, where I could call myself an adult?
Or just a king? You look at yourself as a king
Oh
amongst
yeah,
kings?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
When did you get there? What was that age? Where it first
I
started?
would say 40 to 41.
40?
Yeah, because I knew I looked at it differently. It's one thing to believe you're a king, and then it's another one
To
it
actually reach that goal?
to reach it to a point where it's like, oh, I could see my own BS.
And
I
that's when
could
it starts.
I could
And that's when it starts.
it's like I knew where I was messing up,
Hmm.
and it was like, okay, fix this, fix this, fix this. And ah man, I've talked about it on here. It's like I damn near blew out my brains. I felt like I literally shot that other side of me out. It's when I started driving my own vehicle, my own mind. Shaw stopped driving.
Okay.
It's when I killed the ego.
Okay.
I destroyed the ego to a point where I could drive the car.
Right.
And so for me, that's when I realized like, oh, this is what it's like. And then I had to fall down a lot. It's like I had to work through a lot of stuff and stumble and fall and stumble and fall. And I mean, I'll keep stumbling and falling the rest of my life, but I had to learn how to drive this car. I had to learn how to operate this machinery because I let the ego drive so long
Hmm.
that I didn't know what I was doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
it really felt
So
like that.
so
It felt like
so
that.
essentially what you did was you looked at all of your mistakes and you started to correct it. All of your internal mistakes.
Yeah, like I've always been self-reflective, and so I'm like, oh, I messed that up. Let me do better. But the other side of it was I stopped trying to fix myself to appease someone else.
Oh no. No, you don't never do that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I had to learn that on my own.
Yeah.
And it took
Now
41 years.
now imagine if someone was there to help you in your 20s.
The thing is, I did have some men in my life that helped me. I just wasn't trying to hear it.
Right.
And that's the thing is like I wasn't trying to hear them.
You gotta want the information. You gotta feel like that you need
Yeah.
the information. But how you did it is exactly how it goes. You gotta strengthen yourself internally first,
Mhm.
to have a better life.
Yeah. Like what I like about having this discussion with you is that we're saying things very similar, but we have a couple differences in there, and it's still the conversation's still dope, at least to me anyway. So let's keep it pushing. February. Now this one I'm really curious on. This one I like.
Okay.
Check this out, Corey. February goal: cater to your woman. It's Valentine's Day month in USA. Ladies, no attitudes, no arguing. Add January goals: communicate properly, no arguing, show love daily, positive attitudes only, no days off. Remember to always work on minimizing and eliminating negatives on your list. So, what does catering to your woman mean to you?
It can be as simple as making her feel good. It could be as simple as saying, "I love you in the morning," and "I love you when you leave to go to work." It could be as simple as calling her on your breaks. It could be giving her a shoulder massage as she's cooking you dinner. It could be a foot massage as you're watching a movie. Catering to somebody is just showing them how much you like them, how much you care about them, because the love is always there.
Mm.
The love and being in love is gonna always be there if it's genuine. But you don't necessarily have to like or care about the person that you love. So you got to show how much you care and like that person throughout the day. Hugs, touches, being intimate, saying things that she would love. I mean, every woman is different, and I guess you call it a love language. So feed into her love language. Keep a smile on her face. You know what I'm saying? So the more things that you give her that she needs, she'll give you those things in return, and that's how you keep the positivity just flowing in a circle.
You gonna help a lot of men out on this one.
I'm trying to help everybody.
You gonna help a lot of men out on
Men,
this one.
women, teenagers, kids. I'm
But
coming for everybody.
you gonna help a lot of men out on that single chapter right
And
there.
I wanna talk about the proper communicating
Oh wait, go ahead,
because
spit it.
people do not know how to properly communicate.
Well,
For
what do you
whatever
mean?
reason, people think that you can have a small attitude. You can be negative for a little bit. You can come at somebody in an aggressive manner, and they just supposed to take it because that's just life. Or you can just say I'm sorry, and then it'll be over with. And no, that's not how you properly communicate to actually resolve an issue and get somebody to
Mm.
understand where you're coming from. You can't just give somebody an attitude and then apologize about it. You're gonna destroy the type of relationship that y'all have as you're building to a partnership for the long run. You adding cracks to y'all foundation. And the more that you do that, 10, 15, 20 years from then, you're gonna stop slowly liking that person. And that's why people that have been together for 10, 15, 20 years can break up, get a divorce, but ideally, the longer that you're with somebody, the more that you're supposed to know what type of person that they are. You should know the do's and the don'ts and everything in between. So you should know exactly what to say and what not to say in order to resolve an issue, in order to avoid the bullshit, and then to keep the positivity in circulation.
So, what would you tell someone that what if someone, let me word it like this, just flat out. I've had a conversation with enough men in my life, and we all agree
Okay.
across the board. Men are a straight line, very stoic. Usually, a true essence man is not gonna go up and down like a roller coaster or a heartbeat on their emotions. They're
Okay.
just gonna be steady with their emotions.
That's where they need to be. We
Yes.
definitely we do get men that are emotional, but that is, we
And that's
got
where chaos happens, right? That's
we
where
we
things
we
get
got
destructive.
don't we got a lot of baby mama daddies out there they do need to be in that straight line.
Okay.
But
So,
go ahead, my bad.
yeah,
I
no,
ain't
no, you good. So, on the flip side, though, women tend to be more chaotic with their emotions. First of all, it makes sense because hormonally, if they're not pregnant, every month their body is upset with them that they didn't get pregnant. That's their periods. They're upset that they're not.
That could be a reason.
That so their emotions could be all over it. They're just they're they feel more than we do within the reason, and they show it more. So so they look like a heartbeat. It's boom, 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 boom. They're supposed to be chaos within reason, right?
I disagree
So,
with that, but I'll let you go
mm,
ahead. I'll let you go ahead.
so well, wait a minute, no, no, no. We can't even go further though. What?
Whenever I hear something that's a mistake or a problem, I always go to why.
What if? What if
Why is this particular woman
she's
chaotic
hungry?
in a
She's
relationship?
hungry.
Just because she's hungry?
She's hungry
So why? What is making her chaotic when she's hungry though?
because she's hungry.
No.
Like I'm telling, like this is straight. She's hungry. She
So
just because I've seen it happen enough times and listened to I've listened to enough psychologists and talked to enough therapists where it's basically like this. When a person gets hungry, because it's not just women. If men
mhm,
get too hungry, we're not exactly the most. We just we look different. We might just get quiet.
okay.
We recognize we're hungry, and we're recognizing that we may not be right of mind because we're hungry. We need to go eat.
Mhm,
We tend to get silent. We might be quiet.
okay.
Where a woman might explode and she may not let it out the way it's meant to be let out. It could be her time of the month. What if it's her time of the month and she's cramping and she's mad?
So let me go to the hangry part that you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so if it was me in that situation, I need to understand why she emotionally exploded, because that's a sign that she has emotional weaknesses,
Yes.
regardless of what it is. Because it could be because she hungry. It could be because the food came late. It could be because her order was wrong.
Yes.
It could be because there's a lot of traffic. It could be
Yep.
because she got pulled over by the police.
Yep.
I could go on and on and on. So is there are no excuses. If that is not supposed to be in my partnership, we need to talk about why is it that when you feel a certain type of way that you have to explode and you have to expand on how negative that you feel. So there's a reason why you don't have emotional strength. Let's work on your emotional strength so you can handle these negative aspects in life. It's gonna always be something negative.
But then how do you do the work? You can't do the work for her.
I can't do the work for her, but I can let her understand that this is the direction that we going. And I don't want to leave you behind. But if I get so far ahead of you and you behind, then you behind.
So
But what I will do, because it's not like I want to threaten her, but what I will do is I'm gonna help you. I'm here for you. We are a team. I'm gonna help you with your emotional weaknesses because I came from there. I came from being emotionally weak. So I know how it is to have an attitude, to have very little patience, to be easily irritated, easily aggravated. I came from all of that, and I flipped the script. So I'm a walking example of exactly what I'm trying to teach you, and I'm gonna be here for you. Ain't no more mad because you hungry. Let's work on that. So we got to start resolving issues as they come, and stop saying that well, this is normal. You're just being a woman. A woman is not more emotional than a man. We may express it in different ways. You see how these men are out here? They fighting after a club, they shooting up strip clubs. You know what I'm saying? Men are just as emotional as women.
if
It's all
they
in how you handle it
if they
though.
cater to that feminine energy, they're more emotional than women, and they're I would even say they're more destructive than women.
I could say that too.
They're
But
more
I
destructive
will,
because they have the ability to be more destructive just based on physicality.
and I give you that. I look at it more of from a strength and weakness perspective. I don't look at it from a female or a male. Is mental, emotional, or spiritual strength and weaknesses. If you can't handle your emotions, then you have emotional weaknesses that you have to strengthen. So
Yes.
you know what the problem is, and you know when the problem comes about.
Hmm.
So we got to figure out why you're having this problem, how you're having this problem, and how to resolve it.
Okay.
Because I don't want you to feel like you got to have an attitude because you're hungry. We got to get that out your system. I want you to be more positive, and I'm gonna help you with that.
So what? Let's say she recognizes that.
That's the first step.
Okay. No. Let's say she recognizes that.
She recognizes.
So let's say she agrees.
Hmm.
How do you fix that?
So you got to have another option, because at that point, When she's hungry, her only option is to have an attitude. So once she realizes that, okay, having an attitude is a no no, now what are my other options?
So what gives her no other option?
What gives her no other
Yeah,
options?
because you
What gives her no other options is her emotional weaknesses and her experiences of always handling herself in that way.
but what I'm saying is if mm, I'm trying to think how to word this. Are you prepared to divorce your wife if she doesn't walk that line, if she doesn't walk forward with you? How long do you leave her behind to learn how to grow? Because you can't grow for her and you
Okay.
can't make her happy.
So the thing is, I can't put a time limit on it.
There you go.
But I'm gonna answer your question. If I'm going down this path and I want her to come with me, I'm gonna work with her. I still have to be patient, and I have to be
There we go.
understanding
Okay.
that I'm dealing with somebody that has emotional weaknesses. I'm not about to continue on down this path and I see that she is moving. Now, what will make me divorce a woman is that she stopped moving and she go backwards.
Mm.
Now we're done. But as long, yeah, I don't care if she tiptoeing. Okay, I'm gonna grab your hand. We gonna tiptoe together, and I'm
Okay.
I'm gonna show you how to walk,
There you
and
go.
then eventually we gonna jump, and then we gonna run. So as long as she's moving forward with me, I'm not letting you go. Never. We gonna get there eventually. We gonna tiptoe together.
I feel you.
As
What's up,
long as
Corey?
we going forward, then I'm with that.
What's up,
I got
Corey?
a question. During a long relationship, things can happen and occur in which a woman, for lack of a better term, may go backwards, and and the partner would need to be able to see, recognize that movement, be supportive in trying to help her to go back forward,
Hmm.
because there are so many things that can happen in life that you're maybe unprepared for mentally, emotionally, physically.
Hmm.
And so I guess what would be your I guess outlook on that if you were with somebody for a while, but now you notice that for the last 6 months they aren't going forward, they're now going backwards.
First of all, it shouldn't be 6 months. It's gonna be right then and there. I'm gonna tell you. Look, I'm gonna tell you right now. We could be together for 20 years, right?
Yep.
And we've been talking about. Okay, I don't want to just attack the women, but let's just say, uh, we've been working on her attitude for 19 of those years, and so she give me an attitude, the same attitude that she have given me in our third year. I'm gonna let her know that, hey, baby, we going backwards. You going backwards. Like we did this 17 years ago. You know what I'm saying? She gonna take that in. Now, will she respond to it immediately at that moment? Maybe or maybe not. It depends on the type of woman. But I'm gonna let her know if we ain't doing those 6 months. We about to resolve this right now, baby. You have an attitude. You're gonna take us backwards, and I'm not about to argue with you. I love you too much. What is the problem? Let's fix the problem and find a solution. Your attitude is not what's happening. And if you gonna have an attitude, if you choose that, then I'm gonna walk away from you. But I'm not about to deal with no attitude. I don't deserve it, and I haven't earned it. So what's your decision? We about to
So
talk this out, or you gonna have an attitude by
so
yourself?
We should do this on Monday.
yeah,
All the ladies is on.
yeah. So basically what you're saying is that it's is your way or the highway.
I wouldn't say that. It's our way. It's our way.
But what if her way at the moment isn't your way?
Oh, at the moment,
Yeah.
it depends on the situation.
She got an attitude.
If she got attitude, we're gonna talk about it. But if she okay, so if she still has an attitude, no matter what I say, then what I'm gonna tell her, hey, look, I'm gonna walk away from this because I'm not about to feed her attitude, and she needs a minute, obviously, in that situation. And she eventually is gonna have to come to the realization that she cannot be like that and be with somebody for the next 40, 50, 60 years because of her attitude. Because if she thinks she can have an attitude, then what's gonna happen if I also think I
That's
can
all
have an
bad.
attitude too?
That's
Now
all
we
bad.
both are feeding into the negativity.
Yeah.
So the whole point is to not get to that point where she still feel after 5, 10, 15, 20 years, she can have an attitude no matter what. That means that's a reflection on me and how I've been motivating her to understand that we ain't having that.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I I want you to be I want you to take a second before you say no. At the end
Okay.
of the day, you're saying walk my path with me
Mm-hmm.
because it's going to be better for us,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm walking this path alone
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to have to find someone different.
Oh, you know how many people that need to get rid of who they got right now?
So yeah,
Oh,
you're
wait, hold
basic.
on. Hey,
So
let
it's
we can talk
so
about
wait,
it.
what is it that I say? It's your way or the highway.
I wouldn't say that is my way. That like there's a right way. Do I want to live my life battling somebody every day, every other day,
But some
three
people
ta-
do.
three days
Some
out the
people
week?
do want that.
If then
So,
they
but
can find that.
your way isn't that way.
No.
So as a man, you are leading her to say, "Hey, let's have discussions
Mm-hmm.
like two adults.
Mm-hmm.
We may not agree. We may not
No,
we
we
may
don't
not
have to
see eye to
agree.
eye, but what we're not going to do is yell at each other. What we're not going to do is be
Exactly.
disrespectful. And we're just going to keep it like I'm going to talk to you like you're my best friend because that's what you are.
Okay.
You're my wife, you're my best friend. So that's how we're going to keep it a buck. And if you continue this attitude and continue moving and you're not willing to walk this path with me,
Mm-hmm.
you just won't walk this path with me.
Okay, now let's keep it real because what we're talking about, we're not talking about preventative actions because that's why I want to get to. I want to prevent the problems. What we're talking about is a problem that has already been there and we're trying to reverse it, which is harder to do.
How do you
So,
prevent problems though?
well, you prevent problems by talking about it and having an understanding with somebody. But in this particular situation, we can get to that. In this particular situation, where you're saying that this woman is giving me an attitude, and she's giving me an attitude in year 5, she ain't gave me an attitude year 1. She ain't gave me an attitude in the first couple of months. So I accepted it. So we're talking about my personal experience. I got to the point after year, I don't know what how many years that was, that I'm about to flip the script. So I'm providing you a position that you did not sign up for. So that's a lot harder to say, hey, we've been together for 5 years. I don't want it to go this way no more. I want it to go this way. But if I or anybody was to meet somebody new and say this is my path, and she either goes with it
Mm-hmm.
or you're gonna date somebody else. That's a whole lot easier. But we're talking about a problem that's already there, and that's the
Mm-hmm.
hardest thing to do is to fix a problem that's been there since forever, and to get somebody on a different, completely different path that y'all have already been on. So that's probably why we going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? If you meet somebody and they know, oh, this man is doing 365. He ain't about to argue with me. He ain't about to do none of that. Then from the very beginning, she has that option to say, all right, do I want to sign up for this? Can I have a relationship with somebody to build with a partnership? And we're not gonna argue about nothing. We're gonna come together on everything and have this understanding established. Can I do that? Then that's gonna be her decision. But as long as she know that this is my standard, this is the direction that we going.
You're basically saying that men should know. You're saying men should have a great understanding of themselves before they get into a relationship in order to lead.
Both men and women. Men and women got to know how to lead and follow. Both of them.
Mm,
So how you navigate through the dating scene has a lot to do with the person that you pick.
mm.
So if you are with someone with an attitude, he or she showed you that they had an attitude from the very beginning. We just dismissed it for whatever reason. We probably felt like
What it,
it's normal, it's okay. But that attitude and that aggressive behavior is going to be a problem year 3, 4, 5.
yeah. Have you ever seen Tamarine? Chris Rock's Tamarine. It's
Probably,
his live set. He was like,
probably.
he was like, he was like, you knew she couldn't cook, but she licked your balls, so you didn't
Right,
care.
right, right, right,
You like that's essentially what like that's
right.
it's you choose to ignore those problems at the beginning, and then it sits around and festering.
And that's another thing that we do wrong is that we don't know how to date. We do not date properly. So we get with the wrong type of person that does not mix well with you. And then it ends up not being right. And now you're trying to make it right and force it right.
See, that's so interesting. I don't even know what it's like to date. I've never done dating like in that sense. where you're bouncing around from person to person, seeing someone. It's like I'm either in a relationship with you or I'm not. And I just kept it moving. So I don't know. And even with that, relationships were more successful when they weren't dating all the time. It was like you got to get the man had to get approved by the dad in order to be able to take the woman
Right.
out. And it was like, and that was across the board. It didn't matter what kind of race,
Hmm.
not didn't matter. It's like you weren't pulling that chick unless you got approved by the family type of thing. And then it was like you you may have been thinking about smashing, but you weren't smashing until you were married.
Okay.
And it was like things looked like they functioned a lot better. Divorce rate was surely lower.
Maybe, but times are different, especially with the
Oh,
internet.
with birth control. Birth
So
control was the biggest.
that too. One thing I would say, um, all right, if I was to drop some gems on dating, what I would say is take money and sex off the table when you dating. Money and sex, anything that pertains to money and anything that pertains to sex, you take it off the table.
Mm.
Don't take her out. Don't take her nowhere.
Oh, so okay. So when you're saying money,
Look,
okay, I
I'm
see
gonna
what
tell
you,
you,
I see what I see
I'm gonna
what you're
tell you,
saying as
I'm
far
gonna
as
tell you how
money.
to do it. Your money, fellas, don't mean a damn thing. Your sexuality, ladies, it don't mean a damn thing. Because in the long run, the type of person that you are and how you treat that person, that's what's gonna take you the 20, 30, 40, 50 years of straight happiness. It's not about your money and it's not about your sex. It's about you getting with the right person. So when I say date, how I would date is, let's say, let's just say I talk to three women at the same time. The only thing that I'm doing is talking to them. Hold on, stay with me on this. The only thing that I'm doing is talking to them. The only thing I'm doing is calling them every day. I'm texting them every day, and I'm trying to get to know them. That's the part that we're messing up on, trying to get to know them and trying to get to know who am I in this partnership. We stray away from that and we go towards, do I like you? Do I lust after you? Can I love you? And we don't pay too much, we don't value how am I being treated? What type of person is this woman that I'm dating? What type of man am I? I got to know what type of man I am to even know who I will even fit well with. Once I started to do that, because I did that, once I started to do that, I realized that most of the women that I talked to back in the day, before I switched that up, or I would have smashed them all day. But then, since I took sex off the table, I realized that it would have been a waste of my time.
Mm.
And as men, we got all of these notches under our belt with how many women that we slept with, but how many of them women, well, I was about to say how many on wasted your time, but you sort of wasted your own time dealing with somebody that you shouldn't have been dealing with. So I don't mind dating multiple people if you can handle it, because you're only just trying to get to know them and get to know yourself.
Well, what about the women dating multiple men?
Same thing.
Mm.
As long as there's money and sex off the table, only thing that I'm doing is I'm just calling you every day.
So I understand what you're saying, but I let me just make sure I'm clear.
Okay.
When you say take money off the table, you're saying there's no need to go spend tons of money
No.
to go out.
No.
You could just have a conversation. You could
Yeah.
just talk.
Yep.
Okay. And obviously with sex, that makes sense. When does money play a part?
Money will play a part once you say, "I we are partners. We are together. We're one." As soon as you
So
say that,
that's marriage though.
no, that's as soon as you get in a relationship with somebody.
Ah, but
So
see
so
some
that's so that's the problem. People get in a relationship and they
mm,
think that, oh, this could be short term because we ain't married, but it's the same thing.
you sound very old school like I was just describing over here, Sean.
I
I'm
could be
just saying.
on.
I'm
Hey,
just saying.
I could be whatever somebody say that I
Yeah,
am,
no, no, no.
but
I
I
have
know
old school
exactly.
values, so I'm with it.
I'm a walking example of everything that I'm saying.
So you're saying when you get if you're gonna date, that's a
Hmm.
good time to talk, not sleep with tons of people, not spend lots of money. But the moment you get in a relationship, everything you're building in that partnership is to basically go towards marriage.
I want to say no.
Ooh, why? How?
Okay, because I don't care about marriage. You
Mm.
can have a marriage type of bond with somebody, but I don't care about, physically going to get married. Like, to me, that's not the goal. The goal is to be happy with somebody for the rest of your life, whether you married or not. I honestly don't even see the benefit of being married other
There's
than having the government all in your business.
there's no benefit. There's not as much benefit to it for the as far as that for the person who has more money, who has all that. Because in most states, when you get divorced, someone's gonna have to pay alimony. Someone's
Exactly.
gonna have so
So to see now, that's the problem. Okay, let's say I could just create a situation. Let's say I make $1 million a year, and I get with a woman, she making $20,000, $30,000 a year. My goal is to help build her up financially. So I'm gonna figure out what is it that you love to do. What would you like to do with your life? What type of business would you like to own?
what if
Because
she
I'm
doesn't?
already making $1 million. I want to get you to the point where you making $1 million off your business that's in your name. So if we split, you're not gonna leave me in the same place that you was when I first met you. You're gonna upgrade in every aspect.
What if she says, "I just want to be a stay-at-home wife and raise kids, raise our kids"?
What? Well, that's not for me. I don't want no woman staying home while I'm out there working.
But she's
Well, what
raising.
used to happen back in the day where she
That's
sleeping with the mailman and the
nah.
milkman?
That sometimes,
Hey, you.
sometimes, but
I thought you
the
picked the right
kids.
one.
Yeah, you picked the right one. You picked the right
So
one.
so you know what? What I would do is if I got a business and I'm making that type of money and she don't really want to work and she don't know what she love to do, then I'm gonna give her a position in my business. You're gonna work with me.
What if she doesn't want to do? What if she literally wants to raise your kids?
We're gonna have to have a
Homeschool.
conversation
She doesn't
about
want.
that.
She wants to homeschool the kids.
We're gonna have a conversation about it. I can't just give you an answer right now, but we we're gonna have to find some sort of middle ground because that's for me personally, that's not what I want to do. I wouldn't want my woman to just stay home and just raise the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like I want you out there in the field with me. If I'm working, you working.
But what if she deems working at because for so long, like modern women right now,
Hmm.
think that women that stay home, take care of the house, cook for their husbands, clean the house,
Hmm.
raise their kids, they say that's not a job.
It's a job.
Okay,
Still a
so
job.
that's the job. So she says, you go out there and you conquer the world.
Hmm.
When you come home,
Hmm.
everything's going to be cooked, clean,
Hmm.
everything's going to be good. My job is to take care of this family. That's my job.
Okay, so now we're also talking about trying to fix a problem after the fact. I let a woman know during in the dating scene. I tell her I don't want no stay at home woman.
Mm.
So you this is what you're signing up for.
Yeah.
So the thing is, since we date wrong and we get with people that want to live a lifestyle that's completely opposite from us. So now that becomes a topic. Well, what you want a woman to work with you with your business, but you picked a woman that want to stay home. So now y'all got this conflict. You gotta have both of you gotta want the same type of lifestyle
Mhm.
in order for that to last 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. If y'all want opposite things, you want her in the field with you working, but she want to stay home, y'all got a big problem. But you chose her though. Why did you choose a woman that's not going to be in the field and now you're trying to make her be in the field? You got a huge problem. I can't fix that. So you might just have to give in to what she want because you picked her.
Yeah.
Now, if we was in a dating scene and you're dating this woman and you come to me and like, how do I get her to want to be in the field with me? I say the first thing that you do is you get rid of her and you get somebody else if that's what you really need. Because you're gonna have some problems. You're gonna have some problems.
Oh,
We can't
see,
we can't continue to get with people because what we will do, especially as men, we will get with somebody that we want. If she look a certain type of way,
mm,
her bedroom action is a certain type of way, then we will just accept everything else. And women do the same thing.
mhm.
And so we accept everything else until everything else is now important because in the first year it's not really important. But year five, it starts to be
Yeah.
important.
So what? Man, you basically describing the book without having to. talk about the book. Wh- Man, you touch on so much. My brain is racing. So I agree with pretty much everything you just mentioned. I'm very blessed. I wanted a stay-at-home wife. My wife wants to be a stay-at-home mom. So as we build towards that goal, I'm very blessed that that's very happy about that choice. What happens when they grow and they change? So I'll even use my relationship
Mm-hmm.
when my wife and I got together. She was like, "I never want to be married. I never want to have kids." I'm like, "Well, I'm divorced and I have kids. Whether I get married again, that's it is what it is."
Okay.
The longer we were together,
Mm-hmm.
she all of a sudden wanted to get married. Now I know if I didn't want to get married, I could have walked away and it wouldn't have been a problem. She didn't want to have kids right away. Now she really wants kids. Again, if I didn't want kids, I could walk away or I could have said no, I don't want kids. What happens when you're in a relationship and let's say I didn't want to get married, I didn't want to have kids, and
Mm-hmm.
I made that choice. Like, but you're already together. You're
Mm-hmm.
already because the person changes as we grow. We
Okay.
change. Our interests change. Our things that we want to do change.
Okay.
So, what if you're with that woman? She's running her business, right? And then she's like, the business is successful, and she's like, I don't want to work no more. I want to just be at home and I want to raise our kids. What do you say to that then? You're already 10 years deep in this marriage.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make that adjustment?
You 10 years deep. What I would do is I would say we need to have conversations about it
Mm,
because what you're asking is something that's off the script. This
mm,
this is not the path that we supposed to be on. So we're gonna have conversations about it. I need to understand. Well, I know what it is, how, what, why, how, when, all of that. I need to fully understand where this is coming from
yeah.
because all of a sudden we going down this path and everything is great, and now one day you're telling me you want to completely flip the script. This is coming from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So did you just play the role this whole entire time? Or did your feelings actually change? Something actually changed your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
What changed your feelings? What is it that you saw? What is it that someone told you? What is going through your mind, your heart, and your soul that now makes you want to desire something
Mm,
different? We need to have conversations about it. Not just one, but we need to have conversations about it. I'm with you. I want to understand you and understand what you're growing to be so that we can be on the same page and we can actually make a decision that's going to benefit both of us. I have to also be willing to, change a little bit as well. Like it's not a dictatorship. You know what I'm saying? So
ooh,
yeah, we have to come together.
man, I commend you, sir. I commend you, sir. Commend you, sir. Very much commend you. Um, that's dope because you want to understand her. You want, and I had a therapist drop this on me once. Uh, Getting to know someone and asking questions to fully understand them is one of the deepest ways to show them that you love them. Is to
Okay.
gain to go out there and get understanding of someone else.
Hmm.
That's the that's like some deeper love aspects right there because you are doing everything you can to understand them.
Hmm.
That's and the fact that you are willing to ask your partner that and get to know why, what, how, where, what's going on here, and be willing to compromise.
Hmm.
Like, do you know how many men out there don't do that?
For the men that for the men that don't do that, I would say the reason why you're not doing that is because you're not doing that for yourself.
Mm,
So the self reflection is number one.
mm.
So if you can't do that for her, you're not doing that for yourself. So that's where you need to start.
Man, I feel that. Now, when I looked in here, I'm not going to go through all the months, but I did see in March you told our beautiful women to cater to men. What
Yeah,
does that look like?
it's the same as a man catering to a woman.
Mm,
She has to cater to him in ways that he loves. Feed into his desires. Feed into his lust. Do things that he want to do. Don't do things that you want to do. Don't don't decorate the room with roses and hearts and glitter, because that's not typically what men want.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So he probably want to go to strip club. You know what I'm saying? Give him a lap dance. You know what I'm saying?
Corey, you want to go to the? You want your wife to take you to the strip club?
but the,
Or wait, are you talking about go to the strip club, or maybe she puts on a strip show for you?
eh, either way,
Mm.
either way, there
I
could
don't
be a
think I don't think any
compromise.
man's gonna say no to his wife giving a strip show, a private show. So
Another thing I would say that's that's real key for women is to be in tune with what that man got going on. You know what I'm saying? So in a month that you're catering to him, be in tune with his business.
mm,
Be in tune with what's going on at work. Be more in tune with what's going on in his life and try to understand his sacrifices, his compromises, his
yeah,
investments. Try to understand like what is it like to be a man. Uh, just like with you, you got a gym. You know what I'm saying? Like she could come to the gym. She can learn some moves with you. You know what I'm saying? You could show her some grappling moves and stuff like that. Just to spend time with each other. She don't
yeah.
have to be a fighter. You know what I'm saying? If she's trying to date a basketball player, be in a gym with him. Hold up that green bag like every time he shoot, like she's a defender. You can do that. You know what I'm saying? You could pass him the ball so he can shoot. You know what I'm saying? Be involved with him and what he got going
Mhm.
on. He would appreciate that a whole lot more. That woman built me to be the greatest 3 point shooter of this year, as opposed
Mhm.
to I'm a great 3 point shooter. Now she want to come along and just reap the benefits, and you ain't put in no work.
Mm. Facts, bars, on point. Um, so this book, 365 straight days of happiness. This is for couples.
Yes. So yeah, so the book is for couples that's in relationships that's trying to build to a partnership to reach
Okay.
365 straight days of happiness together. The online class that I have, that's mostly it's for couples as well, but that's geared a little bit more towards self reflection and building yourself up to be a great person in order to have a great bond with somebody.
Mm.
So both of these are just it's attacking the same issue in two different ways. I didn't want to just put out a book or just do an online class. I didn't want to leave too many people out. I can't resolve every issue in a book or online
Mhm.
class, but I can tackle like a lot more with both of those
I got you.
products.
So when let's say let's say a couple buys this book, right?
Hmm.
Husband, maybe a husband buys it, a wife buys it, but they decide they're gonna follow this.
Hmm.
They're gonna follow this to the letter.
Hmm.
They're gonna do everything that you suggest, everything that's in there. At the end of the year, when at the end of their 365 days, what should their relationship look like?
It should look completely different. You should have haters all over the place. Everybody should be asking you, you know what I mean? How do you do that? You know what I'm saying? Where women should be asking her like, how do you get your man to do that? I can't get my man to do that. He checking in, he doing this and that. Y'all got a great relationship. How did you get that? It should feel different. It should look, feel, it should be different just in every aspect.
What specifically will the people be jealous of
I think
or
from
envious of?
from the outside looking in, they will probably be jealous or envious of how you two treat each other. And it will be just simple things like if y'all going to the club and maybe her feet hurt, and you know people see you and her sitting down and he's rubbing her feet, something like that. Just small gestures of showing love and affection in public. Every time that they see y'all online is always something positive, or you're not even posting as much private things online. And every time that y'all are around each other, he comes by, he kisses you, and it's just always love. You never even hear about them arguing. They got nothing to complain about to other people. None of that. Oh man, she kicked me out, and oh he and did this and that. Like nothing negative. You bring all your negative things to the table, and they just be like, okay, and they can't even come back with their negatives. because it's just nothing but positivity.
Mhm. Is it fair to surmise that, well, are you going to do more books? Let's ask
All
that
day.
question.
Yeah.
Are you going to always focus on relationships, or you focus on individuals?
Yeah. So I'm really trying to map out what the next book will be. I'm sort of crossing between how to teaching people how to navigate through the dating scene, and I do want to reach the kids. I think reaching the kids I think it's just extremely important, especially since life is teaching our kids all the wrong things, and we don't have
Mm,
enough of positive things to teach our
mm,
kids that's out there. So doing kids book as young as elementary, middle school, and then teenagers
mhm,
that's going into adulthood. Um, I want to do that. It's really, I mean, everything that I know is all in my mind. It's just really about what is the next step.
mm.
I mean, I can teach people, I can teach parents how to be good parents. I could teach kids how to be good kids, and even in situations where it's not so good, where daddy is not there, maybe mother is stressed out, I can help anybody in any situation imaginable.
Mm. So you're about to have a whole book series.
I can do this for the rest of my life.
Mm.
I could do this forever.
365 days.
There it is. So where can people find you?
365 straight days of happiness. That's Twitter, Facebook, all social media. But I would prefer people to go to my website, which is 365straightdaysofhappiness.com. My ebook is on there, the audio book for the 12-month goals. The online class is on there. I'll also be doing coaching sessions. People can book me there. And I'm also going to do group sessions at the Nails by Jenny site on 3868 East Washington. I'm going to be doing that starting next month. So couples, singles that want to get direct coaching, uh, be on the lookout for that as well. So that and then the 365 straight days of happiness.com website.
Mm. So when are we going to see you do a video with you and your wife?
Probably never. And you know what? Like she has most definitely mentioned it. I mean, probably for the last few years, and it's just me. Like both of us are private people,
Mhm.
So even me doing like online stuff is really not in my personality, And we don't. I mean, even if you go through my Facebook page or even hers, like you're just not gonna see us
Mm.
because that's just how we live our life. So I don't want to put her out there and just try to be this power couple online. Uh, we prefer to be more on the private
I got
side.
you. So before I let you go, I want to read this last paragraph because I think it hits home with what I'm doing with this podcast.
Okay.
The world will not give you what you want. The world will not make life easy for you. It's up to you to take control of your own life, your own happiness, and your own strength.
Oh dang. Definitely.
Bars,
Definitely.
bars. And that is exactly the message that we preach on here about taking control of your own life and your own happiness. It's not up to me to make you happy. It's up to me to be able to do things that could bring joy to your life. But at the end of the day, it's up to you to make you happy. You are in control of you all day long. And brother, that's a beautiful message that you're putting out there to people. And I believe, especially now in this society, people need to do more of that and take onus of themselves. So kudos to you. Congratulations on the book.
Appreciate it.
This is such a big deal. We talked about it before. I am very used to Bang being on stage, and now here we are, author Shawn Calahan, and that is and what I love most about this interview. First of all, thank you, is that the same personality that I see on stage is still here. I love the fact that you are strong in your convictions, and we can have a dope conversation. So what I want is when the physical copy is ready to go, we're gonna have one here, and we're gonna put it up there in the podcast. I'm gonna set it to the side as far as a book that people should go get. And what I want to do
That's
is
what's up.
I'm gonna read I'm gonna read it in depth and go through it and share more insights with people and do my thing with that, and then kind of go from there. And whenever you got another book, brother,
I'm gonna just
please
send
let
it to
me
you.
please let me know,
I'm sending it
because
to you
I
and
wouldn't have
Dash.
known about this if it wasn't for Corey.
Right.
And so I'm glad he sent it over. So I'm excited about diving into this fully. And then yeah, I can't wait to check out the next one, man.
Are you more of a book reader, or you
Yes.
like audio
Now,
books?
I'm more audiobook, but I am focusing on improving that aspect of my life because you remember, like, I take notes now when I read.
Okay.
And so, because you will remember 75% of what the things you write. So, after I read, like, there's some books that only have 3-page chapters in some of the books I read, or
Hmm.
I only read for 10 minutes at a pop. I'll write notes either at the end of the page or in a notebook.
Hmm.
So I can make sure I'm understanding what I just read. So I'll read it. I'd rather read it than listen to the audiobook. But
Okay.
I'll end up listening to it on audiobook just because I'm in my car enough
Right.
to, like, I'll listen to it. But I want to write about it so I can fully grasp everything that you're
Man,
saying.
I can send you everything, and I got pages in the back of that book just for notes.
Oh,
Yeah, so you can write it right in the book.
woo. This man thought of every. Oh, he did think of everything. I like that. Man, make sure y'all cop this 365 Days of Happiness. Go listen to it now. Read it on Kindle. Listen to it now. Um, audiobooks, Audible.
I got the audio book on my website,
Oh, on the
365
website. Look at that.
365 straight days of happiness.com.
Go get it. Thank you. You know how we do. You control you. Peace. We out. Brother over
For
here,
sure.
man.
Hey, I appreciate it, man.
Oh, no problem.
Definitely.
Corey put me onto it, and it fits right with the message. So even the things that